Pumpfortrump game here. Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com off of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. We got a new president, Donald J. Trump. And you know what? I predicted that he would win 2 weeks ago when I was at the barbershop getting my hair cut. We had a discussion about who's going to be the next president, and I told my barber, based on what's going on right now, along with the trends and the momentum in this country and the aggression in this country, Trump is going to win. So I wasn't surprised at the electoral votes that he had last night. I wasn't surprised at all. You know, this is still the United States of America. And if you've been following me for a while, or if this is your first time listening to me, I've been consistently saying that all we got is us. And when I say all we got is us, I'm talking about as black people, as black males to be specific. If we don't do it, if we don't get it started, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't learn how to create our own economy, if we don't learn how to get some political power, political clout, no one else is going to do it. That's just how that shit is. And see, a lot of black people are afraid. They say, well, what's going to happen if he becomes president? A lot of non-white people, or even non-black people, they're afraid as well. They say, what's going to happen if Trump becomes president? What's going to change? And you know what? Every time a president gets elected, change always comes. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the worse. And when it comes to Trump, I don't have a problem with him. You know why? Because he's honest. And I would prefer people speak open and honest about how they feel and how they see me. That way, I know how to approach this person, how to go about dealing with this person. I'm not too cool with the person that's like a snake in the grass, that stabs me in the back, that smiles with me every day, shakes my hand, eat lunch with me, have dinner with me, invites me over to their house, but hate my guts. See, I'd rather people be a flaming racist. I don't got a problem with it. Not at all. Because number one, I'm not that sensitive. And number two, I have enough respect for myself to accept that. Because in order to solve a problem, you have to be honest with yourself and look at it for what it is and figure out how it works and figure out how to tear it down, whatever that is. But that starts with having enough self-respect for yourself. It doesn't start with a politician. It doesn't start with your pastor at your church. It doesn't start with your teacher. It doesn't start with your people you work with. It starts with you. You gotta have. If you don't have enough self-respect for yourself, you're gonna have a hard time accomplishing anything in life. Everything is gonna be a drag, a burden. Everything is gonna be tough. Everything is gonna be so hard. So I think maybe this probably will be a wake-up call for black people, because a lot of black people in this country think that they are part of the system, like they have a lot of influence in America, like they help America move forward in some type of way, like they're making a difference in some type of way. I see no evidence of that today. Now, America was built on the backs of black people. Yeah, I know that. Yeah. But that happened back then, and black people didn't ask to be exploited back then. But I'm talking about getting out of under that shit. I'm talking about getting the monkey off your back, getting the cops off our asses, getting our friends and family members out of prison. I'm talking about, man, we're getting exploited on so many different levels and in so many different areas of activity in this country. I mean, it's fascinating, and it's also terrible all at the same time. Because you had to think about it. When it comes to, let's just take the prison system, for example. They've created a whole industry off just the prison system. So think about this. You got security, you got uniforms, you got boots, you got the whistles that they wear, you got the hats, and then you got the cops, you got the police cars, you got guns, you got the batons, you got the lead sticks, you got tasers, you got the range, shooting range, you got the instructors that teach at the range, you got bullets, you got bulletproof vests, you got, I could go on and on all day long. You got the license for the guns, and you got the concealed weapons. I can go on and on. They created a whole industry in this country just based off the prison system. So sometimes I wonder, how long is it going to take for us to get out of this shit, out of this hole, hellhole? And I believe that anything that's been built, it can be torn down. That's just based on my military experience. Anything that's been built by man can be torn down. That's just being practical. That's just practical military science, right? Now, some people will say, well, black people, we got to start with each other first. We got to start with our household first before we start messing with white people or anywhere else. No, I disagree with that. That doesn't make any sense. That's not even a practical way of thinking. Now, what it is, some black people or some non-white people, I should say as well, they want to take the cheap way out because a lot of them are cowards. A lot of guys are cowards. So they want to take the cheap way out. There see a lot of people I've learned over the past 20 years, they don't really want no change. They don't want to do anything. So they'll just say anything to justify not doing anything. Because a lot of people don't like change. They don't want to be no trendsetter. They don't want to sacrifice or give up anything. Even if their kids is going to live a better life or have a better start in life, they still don't want to do it. That's how much of a coward a lot of these guys are. Because here's the deal. In order to make things better for us, you got to go to the source of the problem. You got to go to the root of the problem. Now, black people did not start cattle slavery. Let's just be clear. Black people did not start cattle slavery. Black people didn't invent racism. Black people didn't pass laws and public policy to keep the system on our necks. Black people didn't do any of that. That spilled over into our neighborhoods with drugs and guns and alcohol and all that stuff. Black people didn't bring drugs into the neighborhood. So to say that we have to start in our households first and work our way out, you're hustling backwards. You're hustling backwards. That's not going to work. That's like, I use this analogy. Imagine you're pulling up at your house and you get out your car and you're walking up your driveway and you see boatloads of water coming out your house through the door. So what are you going to do? Are you going to grab a bucket and start dumping out the water? Or you're going to go into the house and cut the water off, find the source of the problem, find out where the water is coming from directly, right? So no. What I would do is find the source of where the water is coming from directly, because you can dip all the water out as many times as you want, but if the water is still coming, you're wasting your time. So I use that analogy when I talk to people, because if you're trying to just deal with your environment itself, and you're not trying to deal with the source of the problem, the root of the problem, then you're going to be just spinning your wheels. You have to attack the problem on multiple fronts. Of course you got to deal with your household, but you have to deal with where the problem's coming from directly as well. So that's what we have to do. But a lot of people try this, and then a lot of people say this too, which is lame. They say, what about black on black crime, which is another cheap way of another cheap and cowardly way of trying to justify why they shouldn't do anything. Basically, because that's that white supremacist way of thinking. That's that media propaganda. They say that in the media big time. So it's like, now, when it comes to crime, people kill where they live. If someone is going to rob you or hurt you, they're not going to drive 40, 30, 45 minutes away on the other side of the town to do that. They're going to do that in their neighborhood where they live at, in the vicinity, right? And then people act like other groups of people in America and even around the world don't do bad violence towards each other. People act like if you don't see it on television or if nobody's talking about it, it doesn't exist. People are cowards out here. And a lot of people, if you look at the television, when it comes to crime and every incident that happens with the cops, they'll have black people on there to say and do damn near anything to justify why does it make a difference what the cop does, but black people killing ourselves too, so oh well. It's a very illogical way of looking at things, but that's just a kind of a scapegoat tactic that they use on television. But see, white people can't say it. It has to be a black person or a non-white person has to say it. Because if a white person says it, people automatically say he's being racist. But maybe this is a wake-up call for black people, being that Trump is the new president of the United States of America. And I don't got a problem with it. Not at all. The guns probably fly off the shelves. More than likely, gun sales is going to go up. I don't have a problem with that either. If I got to get mine, you got to get yours. That's my philosophy. That's my way of thinking. And that the hate that I see on television, the hate that I saw during his rallies, I ain't got a problem with it. Not at all. Because I know how an average white person thinks about blacks in this country. And if you paid attention to the voting, Trump had most of the electoral votes in the majority of states. He won most of the states. He even won Florida. So if you can win Florida, you pretty much Florida and Pennsylvania and Ohio and Texas and California, if you can win those states, you pretty much bound to be president. So I don't got a problem with it at all. Maybe it's a wake-up call. Maybe this is what we need as a people. Maybe this is going to unite us and have us get on the same page. We'll see. But one thing I'm going to predict, that things are going to get worse. You're going to see more violence across this country. And you're going to see massive amounts of black people being killed across this country. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I'm going to predict that it's going to happen. It's going to be more killing. It's going to be more. You're going to see more people being filmed on camera, being getting violent and being killed, and it's going to be on social media. You're going to see it, and the people that's going to be that people that's doing the killing are going to get off. You're going to see more incidents of like that. So I think they're going to up the ante, as some people would say. But don't be surprised, and just remember what I said. So if you like what you heard, check out my blog, chooseyourrelationships.com. Subscribe to my channel. Until next time, Sharp King is out. Peace.